this game. So d4, knight f6, c4, c5, and this is Benoni defense. And d5, e5, white take the pawn. That actually was not a good move because black can take that with the f pawn, and the f pawn got close to the center, which can support d5 afterwards. So now black has a slightly better position than white. And g3, so we push the pawn d5 right away. And the white play bishop to g2 and play d4. This is so good. We have expanded our control at the center. This is very good. Bishop to f4, and we move bishop to d6 to offer an exchange. And this is also good. If white doesn't take our bishop, we can push the pawn to e5. And since our pawns, most of at least these two pawns are at dark square, so these dark square pawns are blocking our bishop, so we can trade this bishop with the f4. The f4 bishop is quite good, controlling these two diagonal. So the exchange favors black. So bishop d6 is a very good exchange. White take that, we take that e3. So white wants to fight at the center, and we play e5 to keep strengthen our center. That's good. Knight c3. This move is tricking us to take the knight, but apparently we cannot do that because our pawn queen's hanging. So actually the knight c3 doesn't have any obvious danger to us. So we can either choose castling to make the king safe, or knight c6 to develop the knight. We play queen b6. We want to attack the pawn and attack the knight, but there might be some weakness at the center. For example, knight d5. So if we take the knight, white can play queen h5 to attack our king. Because we don't have the f pawn, the queen can attack our king from this diagonal, and also queen to e5 with another check. If we play g6, for example, queen can take the pawn, and also there's a fork to take our rook. So this is a little bit awkward. So if we take the pawn, I feel like this is even worse because knight c7. So knight d5 is a really good move, and our opponent made this move. So yeah, so this is something I think we missed this move, knight d5. Yeah, I think knight d5 is a really good move, and as I said, first of all we move queen to b6, so maybe it's better to figure out all the possibilities. Maybe we think about knight a4, but this move is not good, queen b4. Yeah, but we missed this one. So knight d5 is a really good move. It's not easy to find, but that's the move our opponents kind of think ahead. So yeah, this is a little unfortunate we didn't find this knight d5. So let's see how it goes. We take the knight, actually move the queen back to d6, turned out to be the best move. It's a little bit passive, but it's the best one, it's the safest one. Knight d5, okay, white didn't. Yeah, actually queen h5 is better. We cannot keep the king staying at e file, maybe to d file, and white can take the knight. It's very risky to take the pawn because the rook can move to d1, and if we check the king can go to f1. So the light squares are really safe for white, But on the other hand, we might lose the e5, and also the queen can attack our quick king side. So our king is in a worse position than the white king. The white king actually moved to g2, and knight f3. Knight f3 is coming. The e5 pawn will be attacked, and the white is quicker than us in piece development. So yeah, queen h5 is the best move. White take that with the bishop, and the problem is we cannot castle short. So we need to move quickly to figure out a way to castle to the queen side, I guess. Bishop e6. Yeah, queen h5 is a problem. That's a very great move. And white has built a very good structure. So king d7. I think the problem with king d7 is once we move the king to d7 after queen e5, and the g7 pawn is also under attack. Take, king c7. But we don't have a very good square to place the king. What about king d8? Takes. Probably we can move the knight to d7. So there is a dubious mark. Let's see, I don't understand why this is a dubious mark. So I need to look what is the reasoning behind the engine. Takes. Let's go to that position. Check. Okay, now this dubious mark is gone. Okay. Well, let's go back to this. So queen e5. Yeah, I think the problem with king d7 is once after queen e5, I don't think we can take the bishop because queen g7, that's a check. And we have to move the king. But if we move king to d8, if queen takes that, we take the bishop. So yeah, if white take the pawn, it is not checking our king. So that's the reason I think king d8 is better than king d7. Rook yeah, the queen g7 is coming, and also we need to move the king after queen g7. And rook e8 is a mistake, I think. If we take the bishop takes king d6, we are attacking the rook. So probably white will not take our rook, but take our bishop. And take the pawn, rook to d1, and probably knight to d7. Okay, connect the rooks. Yeah, so this is very complicated. So the thing is, rook e8, we will lose the g7, but we can take the bishop. If we move king to d8, if we take, can we move rook to e8? Yeah, probably we can, because we can protect the bishop, and then we don't need to worry about losing the g7. Because if we take that, we can actually attack the white king. Of course, we can take the pawn first, prevent white king castling, and later take the e pawn. Yeah. So the thing is, And let me summarize here. So why is king d8 better than king d7? Because after queen e5, white is attacking the g7 pawn. If we move king to d7, queen g7, the queen can check our king. So we need to think about what is a plan of white. Then king d8 is better, because after queen e5, we don't need to worry about queen d7. And also rook e8. I don't think we figured out this move. But white didn't do that. White can actually take the g7, I think. This is... maybe white wants to take the bishop first and then take the pawn. Okay, yeah. g4. Yeah, why don't we move the king to c7? If white keep chasing our queen, we can move queen to d6. And the problem with the rook e6, because if the rook is pinned, long castle, the white king is become very safe, in a very safe place, and the rook is aiming our king. We cannot move the rook. Yeah, after, yeah, I mean, so I think we're losing, as you can tell from the engine. But we can still try to offer a queen exchange. We take the rook. I mean, we will lose the rook, lose the e6, and also the queen is attacking us. So, and also knight f3 is an interesting move, because the queen has to go to g2, then we can attack. If the king go here, we'll lose the rook. If the king goes to here, g7, knight g5, there is a check coming, and white is winning. This is also a mate. Yeah, I think after, I'm pretty sure after long castle, we are losing the game after long castle. d5, take the pawn, queen takes, b6. Knight e2. Yeah. Knight d5. So the reason the engine suggests queen e5 is we can at least offer exchange, but it doesn't really work. Check. King a6. Takes, and the knight can go to, maybe kick this knight first. Can black take this pawn? No, the knight will be, the knight is pinned. But offering an exchange can make the game into endgame. If we don't offer exchange, the white queen still remain on the board. This makes our defense even harder. Queen c3. White wants to mate us in this way, but we can play b6, and then king can go back to b7. Okay, we take the pawn. Yeah, so this is a little awkward. Queen c8. Is that knight b7, knight b4. Yeah, we lose a rook. Yeah, we were losing after losing the rook. I mean, so, I mean, we can win the pawn eventually, I think, because we have two pieces attack the pawn. The most important thing is to like create a way that the black king can escape. The king can go to b7. After winning the pawn, we don't have such opportunity. After queen a3, knight a5, the knight is pinned, and we lose c5, and the queen b5. Our our king cannot go back to the 7th rank. So yeah, so I think the learning for this one is about defense. I think we did well in the opening until move 10. So this the move we didn't realize knight d5 is the best move. And after that, I think we don't see this queen h5 coming. If you see that, we will not play like bishop to e6. We can actually check the king first, and if white offer exchange, we can trade the queens. If white play, for example, king to f1, we can at least divide the knight to defend e5. If queen's checking us, we can play g6. At least the e5 is safe. I think that the problem is we didn't see queen h5 is coming. And after queen h5, I think if we know the queen is going to take our pawn and attack g7, we will not move the king to d7, maybe king to d8. Yeah. And the last thing is rook e6. Rook e6 is not good. I don't understand why don't we move the king to c7. If queen goes to f4, we can offer an exchange. So white has only developed queen. These three pieces are underdeveloped. Even though white has up 2 pawns, but we can still try to get a draw in this position. But after rook e6, the rook is pinned. And after castle, yeah, we are losing basically. The rook is attacking us. And that's it.